Hello, Friday Sews. And today I'm going to talk to you about what my plans are, what I'm going to make. And I'm going to show you some of my ideas and also just a little bit about life. So stay tuned. Well, hello, and welcome to Sewing Seams with Deb and another episode of Friday Sews. I haven't made anything much this week. I'm looking for my Sojo. Does anyone know where it's gone? Like, honestly, I'm probably suffering from post-holiday blues and I'm just finding it really hard to get back into the swing of life. I'm finally back at the gym, so I'm pleased about that. But I've talked myself out of it for that many times, so I'm glad I'm back there. Anyway, so all I've got to show you or talk to you about really is what my plans are. So I've got this beautiful fabric which I've had from Lush Fabrics. It's a double brush poly, and I'm trying to work out what to make with it. So I'll just show you it now. How beautiful is it? It's a double brush poly, as I said, and from Lush Fabrics in Western Australia in Perth. And I just love the print. It's very 70s or even 60s and just brings back so many memories. I've got 1.5 meters and I bought this last year in June 2023. So I've had it in my stash ready to make. So here are my options. So I've got 3 options at this stage, and I want to use a T&T, a tried and true pattern, because I want to make something. I need to break the ice and get back into get my Sojo back. So I thought I'd make something easy or with a pattern that I already know well, and I thought I would make it out of fabric that I love. So that's my idea. So 3 choices are Olympia dress from Love Notions, tried and true, absolutely love it. I haven't made it in double brush poly, I don't believe, before. I think I probably would think about whether to make it short sleeve or long sleeve. I'm still figuring that out. So that's one option. Not sure I've got enough fabric. I tried to find somewhere how much fabric I need. I honestly couldn't find it. Now option 2, Love Notions Willow Wrap dress. This is very tried and true for me. I've made it quite a few times, never made it with the ruffle, and I don't think this fabric will lend itself to too much going on. So I don't think I would, because it's already busy fabric. The pattern, so I don't think I'll put a ruffle. I quite fancy the ruffly sleeves though. I have made that version, the middle one. So I've made this one. I've made the long sleeves, never made this peplum top. This is very comfortable to wear and can be quite dressy. I quite often stick a belt on with it and dress it up. So that's my second option. The third option comes out of Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. And for those that have never heard of this book, I've spoken about this quite a few times. This is a great book for people that are new to stretch sewing and dress. And I've made it as a sweater or a jumper or a long sleeve t-shirt and worn it a lot. But I quite fancy this fabric that I've just shown you in this dress. So I have literally made this quite a few times. Haven't made any for a couple of seasons. I've still been wearing them though. They are getting a bit shabby, must say. The pattern that I use, I've never put the ruffle on this either. And once again, this fabric pattern that I've got is the double brush poly is quite busy already. So I wouldn't put this around the neck. And I'm leaning towards this pattern for this fabric, mainly because it will really show off the pattern on the fabric. So because it's a plain dress And when I make this dress, I do spread it out a little bit more from the waist down. So it is A-line, but it's not a small A-line. It's quite a full skirt. And with double brush poly, it will swish around. So I think I'll try and get this pattern out of that fabric. But the whole thing will depend if I've got enough material or enough fabric, because I've only got 1.5 meters, even though it's relatively wide. So what do you think? Which one? Would you put in the comments which one would be nice in this fabric? What's your opinion? I'm really hoping to make something that I've made before, pretty quick, and fabric that I really love, so that my Sojo will come back. That's my aim. I've spoken about this book at length before. For those people that, or as I already said, that are new to sewing stretch, this is a fabulous book to get to help you along the journey. There's lots of different patterns included, and lots of information about what you might need, how to do it, how to choose your fabric, how to lay out your stretch fabric, how to work out how much percentage of stretch is in your fabric. Very important for stretch sewing. What to do about sewing stripes. How do you do that? So Tilly's got lots and lots of amazing tips in this book, as she does in her other books. I think it's 3 books she's got. So those people that watch the Great British Sewing Bee will remember that Tilly was from season 1. So I think we've just had season 10. So that was 10 years ago. Tilly's got a booming business, Tilly and the Buttons, and check her out. But if you're new to sewing stretch, amazing book. Yeah, I wanted to tell you about what I'm wearing as well. Now, I've spoken about this before. I'm just wearing this me-made jumper that I've knitted, and it's a Zandra Rhodes pattern, which I'll show you the book. And I'm just wearing it with one of my denim skirts that I made. So Zandra Rhodes Make a Statement book. There's some amazing patterns in here, all sorts, once again, and it's all about the yarn. She's got very, very plain knitting in these patterns. There's a nice cardigan, all plain, and she's got these puff sleeves, which were very different. I feel like they never sit how I want them, but when I look at the pattern, this is how they're meant to sit. I'll show you the actual picture. And you can see it's literally turned out the same, because I bought the correct yarn, the recommended yarn as well, colours and everything. And see where that's sitting on her? That's where mine sits on me, sort of at hip length, and that's the front. So it does look, this is a necklace, so it does look the same. So I'm very happy with it. This is especially good for not the middle of winter, because it's a bit cold. It's not quite warm enough. It needs something under it. So today I've just got a singlet on, no t-shirt or any of that. And it's still cold inside, even though it's a beautiful day outside. It's about 18 degrees Celsius. So we're kind of at the end of winter now, so pretty soon I won't be wearing my hand knitted jumpers anymore, or vests. I might wear the vest a couple more times, but I won't wear the hand knitted jumpers because it will get hot quickly, which is what happens here. And then I will be very sad because the beautiful cold evenings and cold nights will be gone, and they're my favourite. I love the cold nights and cozy up with the warm blankets. I love that, and we don't get much of it here. Anyway, so that's what I'm wearing, that beautiful hand knitted jumper. Now I wanted to give you an update on how I went at the rodeo last week. Well, I went there, and it's about a 3-hour trip, and took all my gear, and it was all labelled and very nice. I will put across the bottom here my Etsy shop link for you to have a look at some of my items. And I had them all there in Wild Capture, which is a place in the wheat belt in Western Australia. A small place that comes alive at the rodeo. There was about 3,000 people there. It was a fabulous event, except for one major thing: the weather. There's nothing we can do about the weather. It was raining absolute cats and dogs the day before it was on, and the streets were flooded like all around where the cars were parked, and then of course it turned into a mud bath. Oh my goodness me, mud. And then the wind. So the wind was about 43 kilometres an hour, really gusty. And I've got only one photo here of us putting up the marquee, just a small, 6x6 or 3x3 metre tent, roof really. We had no sides. And then someone from the ambulance very kindly gave us some sides to use. But the wind, honestly, I spent most of the time, I had all the things on display, and that was great. And then the wind would come, and there was no way that you could leave them hanging up because the wind would grab them and take them off. So there was that. Plus the rain kept coming, even though the forecast was no rain. So I would unhook them, put them on the table, put everything on the table, put a big tarp over it, and then I'm standing there with my raincoat, holding down the tarp so everything doesn't get wet. Honestly, this went on for hours. And in the end, I looked at, my friend was doing neck and shoulder massage. We had no customers because it was the wrong weather. People didn't want to look at the stalls. They wanted to get straight in there to the rodeo, and then they wanted to get straight to the bar. I mean, probably the wrong event to choose to have that kind of stall. And certainly the wrong weather. And you can't really predict the weather, can you? And it's something you can't arrange. So sadly, we packed up early, which was a mission. It was a mission to pack it up. It was unbelievably windy. Anyway, we had a great time, and so we just packed it up, took it all home, and then went for a drink afterwards. And we had a lovely time. I stayed for quite a few days and had a lovely, really in-depth catch-up with my friend. Had a fabulous visit. And then came back and I didn't sell one thing. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. And that's the way the tent crumbles around you in the rain and the wind. Oh man, that was crazy, crazy. We'll try again at another show. We've got to pick the right weather and the right sort of venue and the right crowd. So we'll do better next time. The other thing I want to talk to you about is this hair. Who has this trouble? As we're getting older, and we don't want to get older, but as we're getting older, our hair gets thinner. It's part of what happens to a female. The estrogen drops if you're not having any patches or any of that, which I don't. Your hair gets thinner. It's part of the joys of age. The joys of post-menopause. Whilst menopause is fantastic for lots of things, other things stop. And what starts happening are new things. So I'm not going to go into that. But one thing is the hair. Anyway, so I took this photo, which I'll show you, of my hair this morning. I washed my hair and I thought, well, I'm trying a new system here. I'm sick of it just sitting flat. It doesn't hold a shape. It's lank. I've tried different shampoos. I've tried all sorts. So this morning I put rollers in my hair. So who remembers this? Going to bed with rollers in your hair, with the bobby pins sticking in your head, with a scarf holding them on back in the day. And then you'd wake up next morning and your hair would be beautiful and curly, but you've got all these sore patches in your head because you've slept with hair rollers in your hair. Well, these days, we don't need the bobby pins because they're made of Velcro. So you roll your hair around and it just sits there. Amazing. Well, unless you go to put on a jumper or take off something else or get dressed or whatever, and they all start falling out. So this photo, which I'll put again, is sort of what it looked like. It was nearly ready. It was nearly dry. Anyway, so I just take the rollers out and brush my hair, and voila, it holds the shape. Not for long, a few hours, but a bit of hairspray and a bit of magic, and there you have it. Yeah, I've gone back to my old style of very, very short up the sides and at the back. And then I can put a headband on it or just sit, and the rest of the hair will do what I ask. So it feels like I have to be very extra fussy now with my hair. Before all of this started happening, I would just go zhuzh zhuzh and my hair would just sit. It doesn't want to anymore. I'm dealing with a whole new thing, and sometimes it drives me crazy. So I'm really sorry to be going on and on about my hair, but it's nuts. So I hope you're having a good hair day, and I hope that you're going to get some sewing done this weekend. And so I'm going to leave you with that. Until I see you next time, take good care of yourself. Stay well, happy sewing or knitting or crafting. And I'll see you next time. See ya. Bye.